Where'd you get that from? The white man?
Same guy.
All you guys, all you black unconscious clowns, everything that you, all the books that you read, one way or another, links right back to the white man. No, this is a black guy to write it. But then check out where the black man learned his Egyptology from. He either went to the university of this or the university of that, which was a damn, which his professor was an Edomite, man.
Gone.
Okay?
Gone.
It says, the Most High led Noah and his family into the ark, and then supernaturally directed the animals, went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. Genesis 7:15. And they didn't even put the rest of that in here. They only put the 2 and 2. Man. Yeah.
They're going off. First of all, they said that just said that Shem, Ham, and Japheth wasn't born until Noah was 500.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I believe that's correct.
That's correct. Okay.
Yeah,
but the 2 by 2, they forgot one thing. The sevens.
They had wives, but the flood didn't take place until they had wives, man.
Yep, that's right. Hey, well, you have to see them. If you saw the movie, and you know the scriptures, like Elder Charles said, you'll be able to discern where they went off, which was pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
It says 2. I'm sorry. It says 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. Genesis 7:15. When all were safely inside, the Most High shut the door. Genesis 7 and 16.
Not according to the movie.
Yeah, not according to the movie. That's right. Oh my goodness! It said
But you'll get into it, you dummies out there, you Christians, you born againers. You'll get into it. You'll get into it, man.
You love it.
Yeah, we were talking about going to a theater today or the next day. You know, we do our documentaries and just see people coming out the theater and maybe targeting certain people. I ain't gonna say who I'm gonna target, and ask them about the movie and what they think about the movie and if the movie was accurate, you know.
Yeah.
And we just have fun with it, you know.
Yeah.
It says the flood came in Noah's 600th year, increased steadily for 40 days.
That's about right.
Maintained its mountain covering.
Yeah, well, if I may, the flood came in Noah's 600th year. That means Shem, Ham, and Japheth
grown men
were about 100 years old when the flood came. Now that's not shown in the movie, right? That's well, we leave it to your imagination.
Yeah, exactly. That means they were 100 years old, and you know what? At 100 years old, they were still in their strength. They were still young.
Yeah.
500 years old, they were still in their strength.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why people dismiss that part of the Bible, because it's humanly impossible for a man to live that long. But you haven't even been around, man. You don't know what the hell's going on. You keep reading the white man's books. I'm talking about you black unconscious clowns, man. Keep reading the white man's books and believing that bullshit the white man gives you.
Yeah, why is that so hard to believe when even now?
Because they're stupid asses, man. They're clowns. They're idiots, man.
Yeah, even now, every now and then that Uncle Tom, what's his name, the weatherman, Al Roker, he'll cite somebody who's, hello, this is Elaine whosoever. She's 100 and something years old today. 127 years old today. And that's in this day and age of chemtrails and bad food and GMOs, which you didn't have back then. So why is that hard to believe? But like Elder Tar said, because you're stupid, all right? You're stupid.
Can I say something? And the white man's a fucking liar. Like, they go into the history, because I watch the History Channel a lot and stuff like that, and different documentaries on the Roman Empire, and then they'll go into the Byzantine Empire, the Dark Ages, the medieval times, or they'll even go into during the 1700s or the 1800s, and the white man says, well, life expectancy wasn't that long back then. People died early. That's a lie, man. That's a lie. Because number one,
they did die. You had crackers because they didn't know how to live.
Yeah.
And they would take a pig, and they would set up a fire, and they would have soot all up in the fire.
Yeah.
And they would throw the pig on the fire, and they would eat the soot.
Yeah.
And the blackness
Poison
with the pig, and they wouldn't cook it right.
Yeah,
so they died because of their ignorance, man. All right.
Yeah, from disease and stuff like that, and not living the right way. But our people, like during the Dark Ages, when Jake was doing the Black Plague came along, which the Most High brought.
Most High did that to take us out.
But prior to that, People lived longer in the ancient world, man. Their bodies were stronger. Over the time, the Most High had to decrease that.
Yeah, there's give me that in Genesis 6.
Yeah.
Also in the Psalms 3 score. The Most High, you have what's called a biological clock. All right? And the Most High sets your biological clock. When the Most High created man on the earth from the time of the Adamites, Lamech, Methuselah, Enoch, Noah, so forth and so on, he set their biological clock to live for almost 1,000 years. But then he reset the clock for man to live 120 years. Then he reset the clock again for a man to live 80 years.
Yeah, that's right.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 6 verse 3. It says, "And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years."
Yeah, because it went down after the flood. I'm sorry, that was during the time of Noah. The Most High had reset the biological clock after the time of Noah, that it would go from almost 1,000 years to 120 years.
Man.
That's right. That's a big.
That's a short, man. That's a 700, 800 year cut. Yeah, that's about a 700, 800 year. So the Most High took 800 years away from the life of man.
Yeah, 800 years about.
You see that, man? That's something, man. 800. We lost a whole 800 years, man. You know?
You know what? As great as Esau or the fucking white man makes the world think he has everything in control, you ain't got shit in control, man.
Yeah.
Because you can't make a man live to be 200, 300 years old with all your science, with all your technology. All right?
Yeah. I got the scripture for you. This is Psalms 90 and 10. It says, "The days of our years are 60 years and 10. Which the score is 20 times 3. That's 60 plus 10 is 70. And if and if by reason of strength they be 80 years, which is 80. Yet,
yeah, because you got a person that's 80 years old. You might have people out there that live to be 102. But I'm talking about living, really living, not running to the damn hospital every 3 or 4 days. And taking about 25 different prescriptions, pills and so forth.
And the scripture backs you up on that. The scripture backs you up. It says, yeah, they'll get 80, or they may get 80. Yet it is their strength, and yet is their strength and their strength labor and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away. Which backs up what Elder Tar said. They may get 80 years, but it'll be full of labor and sorrow. Like
Moses, when he was 120 years old when he died, and they said he died in the fullness of his strength.
Yeah.
He was still as strong as he was when he was a young man. Now Noah, he was 500 years old when he had his sons. Noah was a middle-aged man. He was considered a middle-aged man at 500 years.
building the ark, working, doing carpentry work.
Like you going off, it was the angels that the angels with 3 arms.
The fallen angels, yeah.
And the fallen angels built the ark.
But
Anyway,
they were rock solid.
Yeah, they were rock solid. Yeah,
they were rock solid
in their delivery.
in their delivery.
And get go back to Genesis 6. You know about the fallen angels, and then get the one in Jude and the one in Peter's. Go ahead, Ak.
All right, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, and verse 51. It says, "He answered me and said, Ask a woman that beareth children, and she shall tell thee, saying to her, Wherefore are not they whom thou hast now brought forth like those that were before?" Because why? Like the elder said, the life expectancy, that biological clock, the Lord shortened it after the time of Noah. Then again in the Psalms with King David, which the elder just read. It says, "Wherefore are not they whom thou hast now brought forth like those that were before?" Because before, men lived almost to 1,000 years. All right, and that's the verse 4. Matter of fact, I'm going to read it real quick in the same chapter the elder had, verse 4, Psalms chapter 90, verse 4. It says, "For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday when it is past, and as a watch in the night." because men lived to be almost 1,000 years. That was considered a full life. All right? But now the Most High, he changed it. It says, verse 53 back in 2nd Ezra. And she shall answer thee, they that be born in the strength of youth are of one fashion. Meaning back during the time of Adam, they were born in the strength of the world. They didn't have GMOs and all that other stuff back then. All right? Remember, everything was plenty. To tell you about a cluster of grapes, it took 2 strong men just to carry a cluster of grapes.